Happening today, it's tax day. The 3-month reprieve for filing federal and state tax returns ends.
The pandemic forced the date to change from the April 15th traditional date to today. Instead, News 8's Angela Concaday got a chance to speak with a local accountant. All is not lost if you're still not ready, Angeli?
That's right. If you haven't filed yet, the good news is you still have some time. The most important thing to know is you need to file one of two things today, either your taxes or an extension. I spoke to Ben Smith, who sits on the Tax Advisory Council for the Indiana Department of Revenue. He says an extension will push the date back to October 15th, but if you owe money, you still need to pay taxes today, even if it's an estimate of how much you owe. If you don't file today, Smith says the penalty, fees, and interest starts to add up. Now, Smith says the July 15th delay was the government's attempt to give everyone a break in a time of uncertainty. He says the difficulty now for people who are self-employed, small businesses, they are having to pay taxes from 2019 as well as estimated taxes for the first 2 quarters of this year. As for people who couldn't pay in April and still can't pay now, I asked Smith what they should do. Here's what he said.
If you file the return and you can't pay it all now, the IRS will, and the Indiana Department of Revenue will, accept payment programs, pay over time. So that it doesn't stop the penalties from happening and interest, but they'll work with you. The best thing to do is to file.
If you're waiting on a return, Smith says the IRS is experiencing a backlog after being shut down, so even those electronic payments could be delayed. Now, if you received a stimulus check this year, that money is tax-free, but Smith, pointing to the state's 12.3% unemployment rate, told me those unemployment checks are not tax-free, so that is something to think about for next year. Back to you.
Angeli, thank you.